Okay, so today's lesson is lesson 1.10, using coins. And you have a few different parts to this lesson. The first one is a number story. And you'll remember yesterday we talked about number stories. Okay? And who can remember what the first thing to do is when you do a number story? Who can remember what the first thing to do is when you do a number story? Okay? If you are thinking that number one would be to read it, you would be correct. You want to read, I'm going to make that a capital letter. You want to read it. Alright, so we're going to read it. You buy a carton of juice for 89 cents. Show two ways to pay for it with exact change. Draw P to show pennies, N to show nickels, D to show dimes, and Q to show quarters. Alright, so it's not actually a math story, but it is quite a lot of reading for one problem. And I think we do need to think about it. What do you guys think? That's step 2, right? We've got to think about it. How are we going to do this here? Okay, we're not adding or subtracting anything, but we need to use some coins. And it says we can use pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters to do that. Okay? So, you remember how much each one is worth, right? You can just look back at how much each one is worth. The quarter, which you can draw as a Q, alright, is 25 cents, or in dollar and cents notation, which I'd really like you to practice when you have time. 25 cents. A nickel, you can just write N for nickel, alright, P for penny, and D for dime. So you have to actually add all these up to make 89 cents. And you have to do it 2 different ways. So you do it once here, then you do it again here. And now, you have to write, for the next part, you have to write each of the following amounts in dollars and cents notation. The first one's done for you. So it's going to tell you, okay, you've got 3 dimes. Oops, that's only 2 dimes. Alright, and 1 nickel. Alright, and you can count them, 10, 20, 30, 5. So you know you have to figure it out first. You got to get to 35, and then you have to know how to write 35 cents in dollar and cents notation. Okay, so there's that. Then it's going to tell you 5 dimes, 7 pennies. Alright, if you need to use the manipulatives, we have coins you can use to count it out. The other thing you can do is you could draw that. So if you're trying to figure 5 dimes and 7 pennies, let's see. You could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you have trouble keeping track of how many you just drew, you could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to kind of help you keep track. Alright, and 7 pennies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 just to check. And then you can count up. These you would count by tens, then you'd start counting by ones, and that would help you figure out how you're going to get to your dollar and cents notation. Okay, and then when you come down here, for 8 through 13, you want to tell me, is it equal to, less than, or greater than? Okay, and it tells you right over here if you forget. Equal to, this means equal, okay? The little one points to the left, it means less than. When the big one points to the left, it means greater than. I always remember that the beak here, the point, is pointing at the smaller number. Okay, so it doesn't matter which one is greater or which one is less, but you point that beak at the smaller number. Okay, and that will help you get to where you need to be. So that is page 17 in your Everyday Math Journal for grade 3, lesson 110. I want you to work on that for today. Thank you.